Hello again. An idea just popped into my head, actually, a memory. And I'm going to tell y'all about an interesting job that I had. And I was pretty young. I don't remember exactly when it was. But I used to work for H&R Block in different locations as a receptionist. Now, I worked twice in Little Rock, and I worked once in Ohio when my third husband and I were up there for a job that he was on. So anyway, one time I was in Little Rock and I was working at their corporate office. And so one of the owners, one of the sons, he was a young guy. He used to come in and he would chit chat with me a little bit, and then he'd go on back to the offices and do what they do. So one day he came in and he said, "Deborah, can you come back? I'd like to talk to you." And of course, my mind always goes to, oh Lord, what did I do? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, here we go. So I went back and sat down, and he said, we have this other little business, and I've noticed that you do so well with the customer service that I would like you to go over and manage this other business that we have. So I said, okay, I'm usually up for just about anything. So he said, well, it's over on such and such street, and the pay would, of course, be more. And the business is a weight loss clinic. Now, y'all, I weighed all of about 105 pounds back then. And I'd already had one experience before in kind of a situation like that, and I'll tell you all about that. But anyway, of course, more money, I'm going to do it, right? So he took me over there and he showed me around, and it was an office with a cutout in it, kind of like doctor's offices are. And he showed me the books and everything. And the other gal that worked there was temporarily doing the day shift, and they had an evening shift so they could serve people after work. So he showed me the ropes, blah, blah, blah. So it consisted of the office kind of in the back, and along both sides, there were little rooms, like dressing rooms. And they had doors on them. And I'm thinking, he didn't say this was a tanning booth. So anyway, he showed me in one of the little rooms. And it had a corner. I'm so sorry, y'all. It had a corner seat in it. And then across from it, it had this little shelf. And the way this worked, y'all, this was an aversion method. So what people would do, and it was mostly ladies, and overweight, of course, and they would come in, and they were told to bring one of their favorite foods, like their most favorite food, like chocolate cake. I'll use that for an example because I remember that more than one lady loved chocolate cake. So you would bring in a big slice of chocolate cake, and then behind the counter I would mix up these 3 containers, and if y'all have ever seen them in a beauty shop, those little round plastic things with the pointy tip on them that they split parts in your hair and squirt hair color. Now, they also make them for mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup, okay? You guys can relate to that. So we would mix up these bottles with the grossest stuff in them. Cigarette butts in water, and we would shake them up and get all those cigarette butts going in that water. Rotten eggs, my personal favorite. Oh my gosh. And I forget what the other one was. So we would put these 3 bottles on, we would go into the room, and we would have the 3 bottles, we'd mix them up, we'd put them in there for the client, and then the client would go in with their plate or bowl or dish of their favorite food, and then they would take a bite of their favorite food, and then they would gently squeeze those little bottles under their nose to get the odor. Y'all, people were in those little booths and they would be gagging. Now, the whole point, of course, was to associate your favorite food with something truly nasty. Now, y'all, I was so itty bitty, and a lot of those ladies would just come in there and just give me a dirty look. And I don't blame them. I mean, I liked straight hair so much. And I would look at people with beautiful, long, silky, straight hair. And I'm sure it wasn't always a pleasant look. But anyway, that's just kind of to give you an example. But that was a very interesting job. And I think I only stayed there for a few months. Now, my husband probably had to move. I moved a lot because of my husband's. So anyway, that was just a little job that I had that I thought was very interesting. Now, the other example that I had of that, of getting dirty looks and unkind comments, was I still was an itty bitty girl, and I went to work for JCPenney's. And I worked for JCPenney's, I don't know, 2 or 3 seasons. And this is terrible, y'all, but I would get hired and I would work through Christmas, but as soon as Christmas was over, I would quit. You know why? I did not want to deal with all those grumpy customers who were doing returns. And y'all, it wasn't that easy back in the day to do returns. It was a lot more difficult. Now you just show up and hand them whatever it is and say, I want to return this, and they either put it back on your card or they give you money. Back then, you had to have just the right receipt. They checked it over, like they looked at the armpits. I mean, it was a big, and you could not return anything with missing tags. Forget that. But anyway, I went to work one season for JCPenney's. And what department did they put me in? Yep, you guessed it. I'm right next to the fire station, and the fire truck and the ambulances are headed somewhere. Dear Lord, please let these people be okay. Anyway, they put me in the big ladies department. Now, y'all, I have to say most of the ladies were nice, and they always asked me my opinion, and y'all know about that. I was very kind and I did not hurt anybody's feelings, at least intentional. But I was honest with them. If they were trying on something with horizontal stripes, I just told them, I just don't think that's the best look. Let's find something else. So anyway, I got a lot of not just dirty looks, y'all, but women would say things to me. What the hell did they put somebody like you in this department for? Yeah, y'all. Yeah, I would get remarks like that. And thank goodness I am very good at customer service, because I kind of could have lost it with a few of those ladies. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of a funny story. And so that's the end of that. 11 minutes, that's enough. Love y'all. Bye now.